Okay, this is a pretty cool sight. Let's move on down the trail. Sandy. See a lot of stuff on this. People putting their stuff over the years. Riding in the sand is not like riding on the streets, let me tell you. That's okay, that's why we bought this KTM. You might have to change the tires though. There's no one for miles around. Now this is a one of a kind. There's nothing like it. It is the one and only Birdman Petroglyph. Okay, we are 0.6 miles. We have just done the Birdman. Oh, how cool is that? You see him up there. I don't know if you can see him because the sun's shining on you. It never actually sees the sun, which is amazing because of the position it's in. And it's up off the road, so helps keep vandals from trying to destroy it. Alright, we've had some traffic since then, so I'm gonna have to keep my eye out so we don't get run over by these side-by-sides. But we're half a mile from Inscription Canyon. That's where we're gonna take lunch. So let's see what happens. Really cool how this trip has been and the things we've seen. And granted, we're not able to spend as much time as we would like to at each site. We'll spend a little more time over here at Inscription Canyon. And we're actually going to go up on the Mesa and look around and see what we can find. Maybe we can see some signs where they slept, you know. Some tools or weapons or things, something. Places they ate. We're a quarter mile, a little less than a quarter mile from Inscription Canyon. I want you to be with me when we go and enter into the area. Whoa. Navigation tells me at 600 feet we're going to arrive. So we must be getting close. I think that's right in front of us there. All right. There's a mesa above this, so I mean I can see a lot of lichen on this stuff already. And I think Inscription Canyon is just around this corner. Here it is. And you've arrived with me. This is Inscription Canyon. How cool is this? And we're going to eat lunch right over here. Look at these petroglyphs already. Look at that bighorn sheep right there. Let's shut this down. Let's take a look. Look at that bighorn sheep right there. How cool is this? Let's eat lunch here, where the rock carvers were. Right now, it's time to eat, and I'm hungry. Let's eat. You can see, though, there was petroglyphs down there. Look at that. Looks like a man with arms or wings and feet. Okay, we can see the lichen actually has grown in some of these petroglyphs. As we walk through Inscription Canyon, we'll walk across the other side. Looks like there's a Jeep Club here. Okay, the sun is helping us a little bit. I think you can see what looks like probably a big orange sheep along with diamond clusters on here. As we come up farther, see another animal, as well as the design. And then again, I told you you'd see a lot of bighorn sheep. You see these, all these, it's like a herd of bighorn sheep. This rock, obviously. Something down there. How cool is that? So we see more shapes and sizes. It looks like R2-D2. That kind of looks like a turtle. Popular place. Or the panel's falling off. Difference in age between these two. See how bright that one is as compared to this one. Notice how these has been packed. Well, this one has been scratched, which means it's probably a forgery. And that one. Okay. Now that the Jeep Club is moving on, let's take a look at some of these. This is a symbol I've seen similar in Anza Borrego. This looks like an upside down alien, but I don't know. Obviously it's something. It meant something to the artists. And here we go, some more. Now you look at how these are pretty free from lichen, but over there almost all of those petroglyphs on that side and the back here have lichen in them. Now, not only do you have this, but it looks like someone was starting something right here. As you can see the chips in here. The forgotten artists. Now, fortunately, a lot of these rocks have not shifted too much, but obviously, when you look down, you can see that many of these may be covered as the rocks have fallen down, which is not unusual. Small little cave back in there. You can see more petroglyphs here. Interesting cross. We don't see this too often, but it would make you wonder if this was not a result. It would make you wonder if this was not a result of them meeting Europeans, particularly missionaries in the Catholic Church. Here we have a man who's a square man. I mean, we have his arms, his head, and he has legs. And what these mean, only the author knows now. Try to block this for you. This almost looks like a turtle, but we're not so sure on that turtle. And here's more of these square men. More petroglyphs. That's in the shadow. It's going to be hard for me to film some of this because you're not going to be able to see it. Simple circles. This looks like a man with a shield of some sort. Another cross. Chain up there. Alright. Now towards the end of the canyon on the north side, and we've been looking for the most part on the north side at this point, we see more petroglyphs. Here we see someone in looks like 1923, carved his initials in here. Could be something besides, it could be 1927, who knows. He obviously felt he needed to do that. We'll remember him for adding himself to the rock art of the ancient ones. You can see how some of these have fallen down, and I'm sure there are some that are buried. Look at this. If I can get this to the sun, you see this arrow someone put on here. I don't know why, but there's one, and it's been scratched on and defaced. But here's one, and over here some more. There's some over here. We're almost at the end, and we're gonna go around once we come over here and get some of these that are a little lighter. You see this one here and these here. They're very faint. You can barely see them. There's an example. Now, there's a mesa on each side. When we get out, out where the bike is, we're gonna go up on that mesa and take a look around. Now we're going on the south side of these. And these are things we can see here. How cool is this? I mean, look at that. Now some people might just say it's a stick, but to me, I could be mistaken, it looks like, some people say it's a man, but obviously to me it looks like a woman who's in childbirth. And we have this petroglyph here, which is not that uncommon in this area. And it's been thought that some of these petroglyphs have been started by some and added to by other ancient people over the centuries. Now, I'll try and find an example. See how this lichen is? Of the lichen that has gone into petroglyphs. Carving. How it's grown in the carving and outlines the carving. I just have to make sure that I can walk in these riding boots without falling down. Looking back over there, you can see circles and whatnot in the shade. Okay, on the south side here, as we're making our way down it, you can see there's a petroglyph carved in there, and the lichen is beginning to go into it. See how the lichen adheres to this. As we go around the corner here, we come on a shelf. Always a nice place to sit if you don't mind sitting in rodent droppings. This is probably one. These are forgeries. That is a forgery. There are millions of rocks out here. I'm not sure why they have to carve in these, but people do strange things. Here's another one over here. Let me get over there. Look at how the lichen has grown inside the petroglyph, the carving itself. Here's another one. Look at how the lichen has grown in here on this motif. And here, this one here, obscuring it from those who wouldn't look beyond the lichen. And we have a faint one here. Now, how do we know? This almost looks like a ship, doesn't it? See how it has the boat? And this would be the water, but I'm not saying it is a ship. It just kind of looks like one. And knows how it's been pecked. It hasn't been scratched in. Although it is heavily visited, this still remains one of the more mysterious places in the Mojave. Look how the lichen's grown into that petroglyph right there. They were actually considered to be sacred ground to those who were visiting it or here to do this or this or this. And it doesn't matter whether we think it's sacred or not, they did. And so we ought to respect that, having their limited knowledge of creation and the Creator. The forgotten ones. One's way off the side. Check this out. This looks like a building or some sort, maybe a mission or something that they had come across. That's what it looks like, a hotel. Here we have a over-exaggerated, looks like animal of some sort, squared animal. We have the triangles, or not triangles, but it almost looks like corn or wheat. So, yeah. How cool is this? Let me show you something here. Sometimes I've heard, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but sometimes these things here with this line through, it represents a vulva, because the ancient people had seen human beings coming out of the bodies of the women. And so when they wanted to get in touch with their ancestors, they carved this vulva, and it's like a door to the spirit world for them to, hopefully the spirit will come out through and pass through in and out of this spot in the rock so they can communicate with them. For whatever it's worth. I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, looks like we might have found an old Indian trail. We'll follow it and see if we can find some sign of the peoples who did these petroglyphs, and maybe something to show us where they actually were staying. So I checked the other side, and now I'm going to check this side and see what I can find on this side of the mesa. And in reality, as you can see, it's not really a canyon, it's more like a ravine. So let's see what we can find. So what I'm looking for is something like this. See, it has kind of a point on it, and something you could, not necessarily this one, but it's going to be looking something like this. Let's see what we can find. Here, looks like it's filled in with dirt, but looks like a tape where the women would grind up the seeds from this grass. Take these seeds here and collect a bunch of them, put them there, and grind them up and make a flour out of them, and make patties. So I think we're in the right path, at least the right section. Now here's another possibility that I found laying right here. See the point there? So if you were taking and wanting to make a rock carving, this would serve the purpose. Let's put it right back where we found it for somebody else to discover it. And this is what I was looking for. This is the instrument they would use, something like this, and they may even have used this. Look at how it has places for your finger. This is the way it would go. Place for your thumb. And then you could do, this is it. How cool is that? See what they use? And this is probably a tool that one of them, now there were many who made these petroglyphs, would use. These are things to clean hides, scrapers. All these rocks, especially the ones that have edges like this, they would use to cut things. This is a cool find. This is it. This is what we were looking for. How cool is that? Yes. Look at the ridges. Hopefully you can see that in the sun, where the fingers were locked in. And then your thumb will go perfectly over here. And you'll be able to tap your things. How cool is this? Someone left it here for us to discover. And we're going to do the same thing for the next person who wants to discover this. On the mesa, or a shelf above what is called Inscription Canyon. Opal Mountain off in the distance. Okay, let's get out of here. See if we can get out of here before dark. Heading out, leaving Inscription Canyon behind. What an experience. This road's a lot better so far, not sandy as the other. These junctions, I have to make sure I'm on the right road. Yikes. I gotta watch that sand in the middle. This time we're running opposite the side of sunset. We're going away from the sunset. Yikes. I'm a cowboy, on a steel horse I ride. I'm not really a cowboy. I don't have any cattle anymore. I ate the ones I had. Yikes. But that was a cool trip. Besides, pretty flat out here. And I'm gonna find a place to use the bathroom. Nothing serious, but hey, when you gotta go, I might as well stop and go.